What is going on, guys? Purge here, back at you again with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Carmelo Anthony. So recent news came out that Carmelo Anthony was going to get bought out or traded, but I doubt that any team would want to trade any assets or literally anything for Carmelo Anthony. I mean, the only player that I would trade away for Carmelo Anthony are only like two players. Would be like a player like Luol Deng or Joakim Noah and maybe a pick or something like that. Or say something like Bismack Biyombo and a second round pick I would trade for Carmelo Anthony. But his value is very low, especially looking at news that they're probably going to buy him out. So I don't see why any team wouldn't just wait for them to be bought out so then they can offer him a contract. I wouldn't say that no team wants him. I think that there will be teams that could want to add him. He'll just have to get rid of his self-esteem and need for money, because really right now I think that winning should be more of a focus for him. A report did come out that he's looking at teams like the Rockets, the Warriors, and the Lakers, which all are Western Conference teams, and they're all going to be top 3 seeds, I'd say so, in the West next season, especially the Lakers. Well, maybe the Lakers if no injury happens and they get another star player or something like that. But those are all playoff teams in the West. Now the Thunder, they'll be saving $100 million if they do buy out or trade him. So it just makes sense because you have the trade or the taxes, and you also have the repeater stuff. I don't really know how much of it most of it works, but they are giving $300 million. It's one of the highest payrolls in NBA history. I think it is the highest payroll. So Carmelo Anthony is not worth that money, and he's not worth $100 million to any team, really. So it just makes sense. I don't think that it'll help them winning at all. I mean, you have Paul George, you have Russell Westbrook, and Steven Adams has been doing amazing things in the NBA, especially last season. We all saw how much he means to that Thunder team. So all you really need to focus on is getting a better bench. You got Nerlens Noel already. Maybe he could play power forward, or you could start Terrence Ferguson. But yeah, Carmelo Anthony, he's a top 10 power forward in the league still. He does have his games occasionally, but I think he would be an interesting fit on the Lakers at least. Like if they lose some stars, or maybe even come off the bench. I think that Carmelo Anthony has nowhere deserves to be in a offensive team, in an offensive lineup. I think that the best thing for Carmelo Anthony would be to come off the bench and do something like Luol Deng. Or not Luol Deng, my bad. What's his name? Lou William, not Luol Deng. I don't think he gets any minutes at all. So I could see him in a situation where you put in a defensive lineup that's not really meant for offense, and you have Carmelo Anthony run the offense completely and do his thing, and maybe you'd have a good passer out there like Rajon Rondo, say he goes to the Lakers, or you wouldn't have a player like LeBron James out there who's out there and scoring. So you get this team where you get him off the bench and you have that scoring off your bench, which many teams need. And I think, honestly, sad as it is to say, I think that the Warriors might need him. The Warriors not need him. They're good as it is. But they might be able to use him in a system like that coming off the bench. He just needs to put down that ego that he's a starter in the NBA. He is a starter caliber player, depending on what team you're looking at. But he's not a player that deserves to start on any championship contender or be the main focus or even be in a big 3 for a championship contender. Say he goes to the Warriors, he would be the 6th best player, 6th man easily. Maybe he could work with the rest of the players. But I'd say Warriors, you could put him in a lineup with like Sean Livingston, a player who's not really meant to score. Shooting guard like Quinn Cook, a guy who doesn't really need the ball in his hands, really. Small forward, you have Carmelo Anthony. Power forward, Jordan Bell or something, you know where I'm getting at, in center like Zaza. So you'd have a bunch of defensive players or not really offense orientated players to have on your team. You have a bunch of, it's just that Carmelo Anthony's not in the best situation playing for the Thunder, because the Thunder don't really pair well with him. Paul George did excellently well at certain things that weren't scoring and doing off-ball stuff. But then at the same time, Russell Westbrook doesn't make anybody really a better player. So anyways, this has been the end of the video. I'll keep you guys updated about Carmelo Anthony. I gotta go make a video about Zach LaVine getting matched because I made a video saying that the Sacramento Kings signed him. See y'all later.